Hello, everybody. It is the AFL Yank back here again in time to do my round 3 tips for the 2023 AFL season. I ended up getting 5 out of 9 tips correct, just like I did in round 1. The tips I got correct were the Lions, Collingwood, Richmond, the Swans, and Essendon. Could have gone 6 out of 9 if I honestly, knew. If I honestly was just a little bit smart enough about my pick for GWS to win. But yeah. So yeah, Carlton obviously upset Geelong. Lions did their thing. They got the win over Melbourne despite the comeback after the power went out. Yes, I'm aware of it. Collingwood obviously smacked Port. Richmond beat the Crom despite the Crom having a run in the third quarter. Doggies, oh my goodness. Looking back on that is a pretty bad tip, I gotta say. They did so bad. The Doggies are definitely going to be going down this season. And then Freo, they lost to North by 1 point. Swans did their thing, feeling really damn good about it. Swannies just too good to be bad. They're just too damn good to be bad. No hangover's gonna frick them up. And then Essendon beat the Suns. Although I will say that was a pretty damn entertaining game. Well, the first 3 quarters at least, and then the fourth it was just all Essendon. And then Eagles versus Giants. Yeah, I honestly should have gone the Eagles. It's funny to think, though, that the Eagles have more wins than Freo already this season. But yeah. Anyways, let's get to the tips for round 3. So, Thursday night, it's going to be the Doggies versus Brisbane. Yeah, I gotta say it. The Dogs, like the Western Bulldogs, they are not good. They have not been good these first 2 rounds. They were competitive against the D's in round 1, but just that performance against St. Kilda, absolutely abysmal. Just absolutely abysmal. Lions, they were able to get the job done at the Gabba. And even with their struggles in Victoria, yeah, there's no doubt in my mind I'm going Lions for this. I'm going for the Lions to win this. I'm going to say they win by a... I think the Lions will actually win by a pretty decently big margin. I'll say a 43-point win for the Brisbane Lions. I just think they're that poor. So, yeah. I mean, can the Doggies still rebound? I mean, yes, but just the way they've been looking so far, it is not looking promising at all. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Lions to get a pretty decently good win. They should get the job done at Marvel. And, yeah. And then Collingwood versus Richmond. Pies have been hot in these first 2 weeks, I gotta say. They've been incredibly hot. They're doing their thing. They're doing what they should be doing. Just everything is going well for them. And the Tigers, they can give some competition. I mean, they did play competitively against Carlton and obviously handled the Crows. But regardless, I just think Collingwood are going to be too strong for Richmond. So yeah, I got Pies winning this game. I think they should also win by a decently big margin. I'm going to say 33 points. I think the Pies, they got enough to really, really compete. And I think they'll definitely be one of the top tier sides this year. I mean, there's plenty of Pies supporters who diss me and stuff. I see their Cardman22's Discord, but, yeah, I mean, there's no doubts about it. The Pies are really freaking good this year. I think they'll definitely be one of the top. They're definitely going to be competing for the premiership this year. Then Hawthorn versus North Melbourne in Tasmania. It is the Clarko Bowl. It's going to be a pretty intense. This will be a very interesting game. But yeah, regardless though, I just think North are going to be. This is going to be my first time tipping North Melbourne all year. I just do not feel hopeful about Hawthorn this year. They're rebuilt, but I mean, what do you expect? They're rebuilding. The Hawks are just rebuilding. They're trying to focus on the future. All that goodness. So, yeah. I'm going to say Roos win by 23 points. I mean, it could be more, but I just think the Hawks could have a shot for a little bit. I mean, they're not playing the Swans or anything like that. I don't think North are exactly going to be a premiership contender this year. I think they'll definitely... I mean, they could go for finals. I mean, it's possible, but... I just honestly think... I think the Roos are going to be way more committed facing Hawthorn. And, yeah. And then, that'll kick off all the Saturday games. Next after that, we got GWS versus Carlton. No doubts in my mind, I'm going Blues. Just GWS, they are really rebuilding this year. Even with how good they looked in round one against the Crows. Yeah, I think the Giants are really rebuilding, regardless. Nonetheless, though, I'm going to say a 38-point win for Carlton. They should get a hefty win. They should handle the business well. All that goodness. So, yeah. Then St. Kilda versus Essendon. This will definitely be a very intriguing game of how this can go. Will Ross Lyon or... Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot the... So here we go. It is the Ross Lyon versus Chris Scott. Or no, Brad Scott. Yeah, Brad Scott. Obviously, Chris Scott is obviously Geelong, obviously, but yeah. But yeah, two former head coaches facing each other, now back in the league for the first time in years. It is Chris Scott versus Ross Lyon. This will definitely be a very interesting game in my eyes. I think this can definitely be a very competitive matchup. Both teams have been really good. And I'm honestly going to go with an upset here. I think Essendon can... I'm picking Essendon to win this game. I think they can do it. I like St. Kilda. I think they're going to be a really good... I think they have a shot at making the 8th this year, but I'm more in favor of Essendon, to be honest. And I think this will be a very contested game, but I'm going to go Essendon to win by 11 points. I think this will definitely be a very entertaining matchup in my eyes. And then the Saturday night game, it is the showdown at Port versus the Crows. Both of these teams have been neck and neck. Both of them have been neck and neck over the years. It's crazy to think about. And this could go either way, but with how strong Port have looked, I think they'll definitely be on the... this could definitely go either way. The Crows can be motivated to, obviously from the past two rounds of how bad they've looked. Matthew Nix, he'll definitely do some reevaluating and all that. But Port, I think they'll definitely put up some good competition too. And it'll be interesting seeing them wear the prison bars again too. This is going to be their first game wearing the prison bars in 3 years. Which I remember that game. I remember the showdown where they wore the prison bars last time. That was round 2 2020, where Port absolutely smacked the Crows. Nonetheless, though, Port, they beat the Lions. They beat the Lions in round 1. I think they have the capabilities of rebounding. I'm going to go Port. Let's say Port by 26 points. And then next, in the Gold Coast, it is the Suns versus the Catters. Can Geelong get their first win of the season, or will they somehow start the season 0-3? The last time the defending premier ended up starting 0-2, they missed finals entirely, and that was obviously Hawthorn in 2009. But regardless, can the Cats break the streak, and will they able to get their first win against the Suns? In my eyes, I'm going to say yes. I think the Cats will get their first win of the year against the Suns. They haven't really looked too hot this season. But regardless, though, I think the Cats will get a nice percentage booster in this game. They should get the job done. I'll say a 53-point win for the Cats. And then it is the D's versus the Swans at the MCG. A very intense matchup that could be coming our way, with the impending returns of Max Gawn and Buddy Franklin. This will definitely be a very intriguing matchup. Although, there is going to be some minuses for the D's. They will be missing Max Gawn and Causey Pickett. They're both out next week. This is going to be interesting. But yeah, it'll be the Swans' first matchup at the MCG since the grand final beatdown. Since they got smacked in the granny. And it's going to be interesting how this can go, but in recent years, the Swans have always had the D's as basically the side they've always beaten on. And even though the D's have definitely been a pretty good side so far in 2023, even though they obviously lost to the Brisbane Lions, although they did make a nice comeback in that game. This will be interesting. I think the Swans can actually, this could go either way. I really think about it, but, ooh. I'm gonna be a little biased here, but yeah, I gotta go Swans. I believe in it. We've looked really damn hot, these first two rounds. I mean, yes, I get it's against the Suns and Hawks, but we're dominating them like a premiership team should be doing. That's what premiership teams do against lower tier sides. I mean, yeah, there'll be some bogey games here and there, but I still feel hopeful about it. I think the Swans are going to be all right. And I have a lot of trust in it. I mean, we have a damn good culture. But yeah, regardless though, I think this can definitely be a thriller, but I'm going to say Swans sneak it out. They get a 20-point win. And still hang on top of the ladder thanks to the strong percentage from obviously these past 2 weeks. And finally, Freo versus the West Coast Eagles. Both of these teams obviously not looking too hot. The Dockers are 0-2, and the Eagles, they did lose to the Roos, but they did look pretty good against GWS. But I mean, the Giants, they're down. The Giants are not really that good this year. But I feel like if Freo really get things shifted into momentum, I think they can get the win here. But yeah. And I think this can definitely be a neck-and-neck game if the Eagles play well, but I'm going to go Freo with a 24-point win. So that will do it for my round 3 tips. I know it's not the greatest evaluation I made, obviously, but I think this can definitely be a very, very interesting round of footy. So yeah. Anyways, there's the projected ladder I have. I'm not going to be reading out because I'm not the frickin' narrator of Peppa Pig. But yeah, there's my projected ladder. And I hope you've enjoyed another tipping video from me, and hopefully I will be making more reaction videos within the upcoming round. This is the AFL Yank signing out. Corn the Swannies. I almost forgot what I wanted to say at the end of this, but yeah.